All right, here is Lonely Side of Town, the break Wayne Benson plays. It's cool, really bluesy. It's really based in the Mixolydian scale. But so you're going to see it be very G dominant, even though we are in the key of C. So that's just something to pay attention to. Anyway, 1, 2, 3. All right, so even though we're in the key of C, once again, that G dominance is really, G is being pushed to the forefront, which is the 5 of C. So that's why I call it the Mixolydian scale, which basically means that we have an abundance of, flat 7 in the mix is really what you want, is really what brings that, about. Because a Mixolydian scale is the same as a major scale with a flatted 7. So we're opening on this G minor double stop, okay? And this is the same, we think of this G major double stop and we flatted the 3rd, so that's what I'm calling it, the G minor double stop. And we're gonna use it and hammer it onto C. Right? Okay. And we have this lick. So you can see we've still got this like outline here that we're still playing out of. And now we have this. So that's like the first time it feels like it's actually resolving back to C. And we have our flat 3rd here. And this is our next lick. And then we have kind of a transitory lick. This is a really common thing to do to move up the neck, which is you start with a major arpeggio. And simply by moving that up, every note up 3 frets, you transition actually to a minor arpeggio. So, that's all over bluegrass, and you'll see it over and over and over again. But now that we've reached this arpeggio, we are actually in the same exact structure that we were here, because we have a G here, right? And a B flat here. Same as here. We have a similar lick to what we did up here. And it's just a double stop, and we're really slurring, kind of blurring the lines there. And this is probably the weirdest timing-wise, syncopation, the next lick. So what makes that awkward is we have this double hit on the C. And this is when he switches back, and that talking about blurring the lines between major and minor. This is when you kind of you think about the structure here when we're in this kind of C chop shape. I mentioned in our lesson that we have this flat 3rd, 3rd, 4th, flat 5, 5, right? So we used our flat 5. And now we're back on the 4, which is a major note within the scale. So he does this really cool lick to kind of reinforce, hey, now we're back to major. So we have our flat 3rd, 4, 3. And then we're kind of walking these double stops down, right? So we have a C double stop. Okay. Then we've got a almost said B flat double stop. F double stop. And we're back to that, what I think of as that G minor double stop, right? Putting that up to speed. Right? All right, and then our final lick, we're doing this flat 3rd up thing, or really flat 5 up. Which is really similar, not quite the same as what we did up here, but it's functionally the same, and it's once again taking it functionally the same in principle, right? Because we're still taking that advantage of our structure of this flat 3rd, 3rd, 4th, flat 5, 5 that's here within this chop shape, right? So he does it here. And then finally, just to end it, he slides up all the way up here to our 3rd dominant double stop, and he just kind of tags it with the 4. So once again, slowly, which, bear with me, playing it slowly, have a tendency to mess it up, but here we go. 1, 2, 3. So as far as extension, because one of the things you were talking about was a difficulty moving licks, not moving licks around, but a difficulty retaining licks, right? How do I go and enforce that elsewhere? So the coolest lick in this song to me, it is really the. Because it's just that transition from minor back to major is really smooth when it can be done in a really jarring way, right? So what am I gonna? So let's just think about this. So we've got that G minor double stop that we're kind of resolving back into that C note there, back into that C, right? We're taking advantage of our C. We're taking advantage of our C minor blues there. So what I want to think of is I really want to say, okay, well, I want to move that elsewhere, right? I want to be able to play that in other places. So let's just move it straight over to to A. Right. Right. So what I did there, because my structure is functionally going to be the same, right? I just moved it to an open position just to kind of reinforce and get a different idea. Here's what it looks like open. Here's what it looks like closed, right? I want to ingrain both within my head. And then once I've done that, I want to move it. I don't want to do it on the E string anymore. I don't want to think of as like, I don't want to think of it only as an A and E string kind of starting point lick. So let's move it to what would end up being. That's a weird key. But yeah, let's move it to what would functionally be like in this F arpeggio. It's going to function really as a B minor, B flat minor. Excuse me. Anyway, so sorry, I'm rambling. That's my bad. All right, so it would be we want to do the same thing. Which is, a cool way. It sounds cool everywhere. But the idea is move it around over and over and over again. Put it in weird places, in weird keys. Put it in spots on the fretboard that really make you think about what you're doing, right? I was doing it just then, like being like, okay, wait, what key am I in again? Yeah. Just the idea that way it's a lick you feel like you can go to when you need the lick, right? And that's kind of what that's where I get my principle of like keeping my licks, within places. I think of how it's functioning in the song, which this one's really like kind of nice to think about in the song because it's really just happening over one, Right? It's really just thinking about the one more than anything else. So that makes it kind of an easy lick to move around. So try it in different keys, try it over different songs, see how it works. And then when you just, pull up a backing track and start noodling or something like that, throw it in, get it to fit and figure out where you go after that, right? Because you can associate it with these double stops and then employ it based on the double stop that's there for you, that hey, I'm about to use that double stop in this song. Well, there's a lick out of that double stop. So hope that makes sense. Let me know if you need anything else, have any questions. Enjoyed it. See you next week.